Okay, so we're going live here. Leslie Hassler with Your Biz Rules Business Coaching. I'm really talking to our small businesses out there. So specifically, a really kind of subset of small businesses. So if you look at like the small business economy and what the SBA, Small Business Administration, qualifies as a small business. That's really a business of 7 million receipts, 500 employees. Okay. That is actually a pretty big business. All right. It's not that small. And what's really you might find astonishing, I have to start my car up, it's a little warm out today, is that there are 78 million businesses that are actually solopreneurs in our economy. Now, I think that's pretty cool. I think solopreneurs and the micro businesses are actually really special. They're the ones I love working with. So everything I'm talking about when I'm Facebook living to you guys, everything that I'm sharing is tips and strategies to do your business are really done with those people in mind. So that may mean that you're a franchise. That may mean that your service. That may mean that you're independent in some way. So some of the things I talk about, they're not so good for maybe like captive insurance agents or captive financial planners. They'd be great for you if you owned the firm, but just to like give a frame of reference. So what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about branding today, and I'm going to be a little controversial, and that's okay. Let me give you a little background. So you just know that I know what I'm talking about. My first career was in marketing and advertising. So I did traditional ad work, agency side, and interactive agency side. So I was dealing with really big brands. I mean, Procter & Gamble, World Kitchen, who's like Chicago Cutlery, Corel, some businesses you've never heard of, Garden Ridge, which now are at home, big brands. Now, one of the biggest mistakes I see is that small businesses try to brand like a big business. And what you need to realize is that you're not Coke, you're not Pepsi. You don't really need branding in the way that you see it portrayed to you in ads, in print magazines, all of those things, all the examples that you would have, they're totally wrong for you. All right, so let's talk about this just a little bit more. What kind of branding do you need? Well, you need enough consistency in what you are portraying out there. So if you are saying that you're an expert, you probably should look like an expert, right? Your marketing materials probably should help support the fact that you're an expert. That's the kind of branding a small business owner needs. Now, here's some really interesting things. Again, a little controversial. Are you ready? Are you ready? All right. You do not need a logo. You do not need a website, and you do not need a business card to make a sale. Okay. And I bring those three things up because if I'm talking with a startup business, it's so funny. Well, I'll have my website done. Well, I've got to get my business cards. Oh, but first we're doing my logo, all of those things. Those are those traditional elements of a brand. Does it help give you, support your status as somebody that knows what they're doing when they have a business card? Sure, that's helpful, and people expect you to have those things. What about a website? Well, yes, we do look up each other, right? If you didn't know me from Adam, and you'd look up Leslie Hassler or Your Biz Rules, you'd expect to find something out on the web. So we know that that's out there, but there's a lot of other ways besides a website that you can be found online. So those things do support you, but they're not the end all be all. All right. They're not really going to give you that equation because I have a logo, then I'm going to have business, or because I have a website, then I'm going to have business. It just doesn't happen like that. So where I find that small business owners especially get trapped is in the expectation that these things have to happen in order for a sale to happen. It doesn't happen. You can instantly make a sale without any of that. So having said that, when it's the right time, get those right branding pieces in, but you'll be amazed how long that really is. The other thing about personal branding and why I'm like, I don't know how much you need right off the bat is it's a very long-term strategy. Again, I go back to the fact that you have to be consistent, right? If you portray yourself as an expert, you should, I hear a talk being birthed. Here's Rebecca, my friend Rebecca, my soul sister. See you in Canada. I just sent off my passport today. In fact, that's why I'm in the car. But so when you look at personal branding and what you need to do, you do need a consistent image. Now, if you look at me, you're going to go, Leslie, your branding's everywhere. Yeah, it is, but I have like 15 years experience in marketing and branding. So it's like breathing to me. I don't have to figure things out. You know, I'm okay to let things be organic and let them grow and shift and change and be, my blog's an experiment for me. It really is. It's about self-expression and experimenting. And I'm putting words to the philosophy that I have in business. And that's what I use that for. And it's a completely free resource. So if you need free, go to my blog. But if you're really looking at personal branding, you just need to see that, like I said, you need to have consistency, right? You need to be the same thing in all of the iterations. And if you're not quite sure what that thing is, don't waste your time and money right now. Take the time to figure it out, because you don't have to have those elements in order to have a sale. And why is that? Anybody know? Anybody? It has to do with relationships. Okay, most people, in fact, if you're brand new in business, or even if you're building your business back, guys, I am frank that I have succeeded in business, I have failed in business, I have had a broken business, I have fixed business, I have almost any situation in a business that you can come up against, I have been through it, and I've kind of lived through things up thick and thin. So that's why I can talk to you about all of these little elements about business and really some of the nuances between it. But the fastest path to cash, okay, is always going to be through people. Now, people, when you're talking about one-to-one relationships, it's not highly leveraged, is it? I mean, you spend a lot of time doing these get-to-knows, you know, getting a relationship built so that you can ask for a sale if it's appropriate, or they can ask you for your services if it's appropriate. All of those things do take time, so I'm not gonna lie on that. But the fastest path is always through somebody else. Okay, now when I'm talking about networking, I tell people we're looking for the 6 degrees of Kevin and Bacon. You're not looking for the sale, you're looking for the person that can lead you to a plethora of clients. That's a little bit of a leverage technique. So when you're in branding, a lot of times the tendency is to get really big and to forget about that one-to-one relationship, even if it's maybe a one-to-many relationship or that personal relationship. And I would seriously challenge you that if you have a business anywhere from $0 to $1 million, in that range, and that's a big range for a lot of small businesses, it's all about you. It's about who you are and what you represent. And when people buy from you, they're buying because of you and that they trust you. You know, it's that know, like, and trust factor. And that is really, if you're going to go into personal branding, you really need to be thinking about that know, like, and trust, so that you're giving that consistent message, so that you're reinforcing everything that you're doing. Don't worry about magazine ads. I'm going to say for 90% of you out there, probably not the best use of your time, your effort, or your money, especially if you're not a sophisticated marketer. You don't know how to convert it into an actual sale. So those are a little more vanity ads, if you will, like, hi, we're here. Those kinds of ads, if you open up your magazine, any of your regional magazines, you'll see those ads, and they're a complete waste of time and money for a lot of people. So you have to get some call to action and know how to get people engaged. You can't do that through a lot of traditional branding type messages for that. So don't try to be Coke, don't try to be Pepsi. You're not worried about market share and where a dip in 3% results in millions of dollars lost. You are looking for great relationships that actually can bring value and clients and money to your doorstep. So I think that's a little short. I know it's short. So I hope that makes sense about where I feel on branding. Again, you don't need to have a brand per se if you can step forward in your personage and who you are. Okay, so I have a little bit more. Here's what I really started out to tell you guys today. Sorry, rambling. Most entrepreneurs that I have found are introverted. like really introverted. Most entrepreneurs who are introverted and not doing well are oftentimes because they're stuck behind their computer, right? We're too busy worrying about anything you can do on the computer. You're not getting out and about. And part of that is this whole being seen value, like not being afraid to be seen. And I will tell you, so I will be 10 years of an entrepreneur on May 7th of 2017. That's 10 years. Yay. It has been a journey to be okay to be seen. It's been a journey to be okay to be found online. It's been a journey to be okay to stand up in front of people and say what I do. It's been a journey to be okay to be on a video and be totally rambling because I'm all over the place today, right? That takes a lot of confidence, yes, but it also takes something else. And that's that whole realization of being okay to be seen, because if you're seen, you can be findable. And that's where I really think personal branding comes into play, is that being out and being able to be seen, and being able to be strong enough to say what it is that you do. So the one thing that I can't teach anybody, I cannot teach anybody this when it comes to being successful in small business, is I can't teach you how to be you, right? I can't teach you your secret sauce to doing whatever it is you're doing. I see my friend Albert Marquez is on here. So he owns 188 barber salons. Did I get that right? Albert, you're going to have to make sure I said that correctly. But nobody owns and runs a salon like Albert does, right? I can't teach him how to infuse necessarily who he is into his business. But because he can be who he is, right? Because he can, and I'm assuming, Albert, and you're going to have to tell me for sure. I'm just using you as my example because you're the last person that popped up on the feed. But because you know who you are, and you should be able to communicate what makes you different, what makes you special, why somebody should buy from you versus your competitors, why you're different, and it's a wonder to be able to work with you. That is that little voodoo that you do so well. So nobody does the voodoo that you do like you do so well. And that is really where I think personal branding can go up a notch. And that's really where you start to be able to be okay with being seen. But if you can't communicate that I can teach you how to communicate it. I just can't teach you how to be you. You can start to allow people to select you. I love the concept of selection or deselection when it comes to marketing. It qualifies people as they come to your doorstep, which we love. It makes the sales conversation so easy. But in order to do that, you have to say, this is why I'm good at what I do. This is what makes me outstanding in what I do. Yes, there are other people that do what I do, but nobody does it like me. So if you're looking for this, I can help you. Okay, that's really where you get that really fun clients. I kind of talked a little bit about that earlier this week when we were talking about niche and how you really have to grab into a niche to be successful in small business. But it all comes down to finding your dime, being proud about your dime, standing on top of it and shouting from the rooftops, because there's just a lot of noise out there. All right, so we talked about personal branding. We talked about what it is, what it isn't. We talked about, for a lot of small businesses, you're probably spending a lot of money on marketing techniques that are meant for big brands and not small brands. One of my favorite articles from Harvard Business Review is that small business is not just a little big business, right? That there are nuances of what it takes to be successful. And that's kind of what I've been talking to you about when we're kind of coaching from the car, as we were not actually in carpool lane today because the boys have some extracurricular activities, but I am in the car and I'm here for you. So if you have any questions, let me know. Comment below. And supposedly there's a way that you can subscribe to this to know the next time that I do it. And since I have time at 2:30 every day because of Carpool, that's when I'm doing it. So be sure to do that. Share it. Hey, if you caught something of value from today's video, share it. Subscribe it. Let me know if you have any questions, because I'm going to need ideas to keep talking. I mean, I can talk, but you know, you only want to hear about so many things, so I'd love to know what you know. All right, guys, that's it. Leslie Hassler, Your Biz Rules Business Coaching. Make it a profitable one. I'll talk to you soon.